What the heck is up, you guys? It's your boy Ace, aka Animated Heroes, here back with another action figure review. Today we're going to be taking a look at none other than the Marvel Studios Spider-Man No Way Home Green Goblin action figure. And if you're unaware, this is the live action version played by Willem Dafoe in a movie that most people would say was spectacular. Now, without wasting any time, let's go ahead and dive right into the sexy packaging. Now, when it comes to the box, I absolutely love this. I know that most domestic collectors don't really care for windowless packaging, but if you're an import collector, then this is nothing new to you. This just looks so sick, man. You got the artwork on the front, all kinds of greens, blacks, purples. The color combination just looks outstanding. It says Marvel Studios Spider-Man No Way Home. Bunch of stuff at the bottom designed by Tamashii Nations, Bandai, Green Goblin up top, SH Figuarts, Bandai Namco. At the bottom here on the bottom right corner, I have a little nick. My neighbor ended up telling me that the guy who was delivering this package tried to throw it up the stairs to my apartment, guys. That's pretty freaking disgusting. But when he got caught, he ran it up. So that was pathetic, yo. That was absolutely pathetic. I don't know if this happened because of him, but thankfully it's just a small little nick right here in the bottom right corner. Anyway, it does say SH Figuarts Green Goblin No Way Home at the top. At the bottom right here, we got an image of him and some kind of code. On the side right here, we've got him on his glider, almost looking like he's on a surfboard of some sort. Full body image of him right here. The Green Goblin mask right there, which I still can't believe they didn't include. We'll get to that later. And then, of course, some poses you can get the figure into on the back. Looking really sick here. Anyway, let's stop wasting time and go ahead and bust this figure right out of the packaging. Now, straight out of the packaging, the first thing I gotta say is, God, this is a beautiful figure, yo. That, above all else, I haven't even messed with the articulation or anything else, but just overall, in terms of looks, this is a very beautiful looking figure, man. Aesthetically, man, this is pleasing to my eyes. I love this, and this just kind of takes me back to the Mafex the Batman figure, because I remember when I pulled it out of the packaging, I realized all the sculpt work and crazy details that it had, and this figure is the same. It probably has even more. I don't know. But goodness gracious, man, this is a beautiful looking figure. Like, I cannot stress that enough. With that being said, there is one issue I have with it, and I'll get to that once we take a closer look at it. But first, I just want you guys to take a minute to just relish in how beautiful this figure looks, man. This is so sick. Okay, off of that, let's take a closer look. So the first thing I want to go ahead and get out of the way is the head sculpt. This is where I think most people faced issues with this figure. They were upset that he was given a mustache, and yeah, he definitely does have one. It's not something that really bothers me, but I could see why it would bother a lot of people. It is something that was done completely unnecessary. And looking at this figure, there's another actor that he reminds me of. The guy who plays Frank from Shameless. I'm gonna have to find a picture of him and post it somewhere. But yeah, just looking at it, it looks exactly like him, like at this angle. That's just me. But overall, that sculpt still looks really nice. I love the glasses that he's wearing for when he's on the glider. The hair sculpt looks very, very nice, man. You got a whole bunch of curls and everything in there. A bunch of painted wrinkles and sculpted detail. It just looks really damn good, man. The only issue I have with the head, personally, is the hair, man. I don't know how well it's picking up on camera, but for whatever reason, they like dry brush this white right here, and I don't know what's up with that. It probably doesn't pick up well on camera, but if it's a figure you get in hand, you'll see exactly what I'm talking about. It just kind of throws it off. It gives it a very off look to the hair, and it takes away from the realism. And I can say realism because this is based on a live action. So yeah, that's a bit weird, but I do love this little scarf, or what's not a scarf, I think it's a torn shirt that he's wearing here, because you can see it has a hoodie to it. The sculpting and everything is really good on this. It's a bit of a soft plastic, but it's not meant to be moved around, obviously. Now, I wish they would have shaded some of this, like some black shading all along these sculpted wrinkles would have made this pop a whole lot more. It looks good, but with all the sculpting and detail that the rest of the figure has, this just has a bit more of a plasticky look to it. So it kind of takes away from, again, the realism of the figure, but it still looks great. Nonetheless, it just could have been better. Now, I can get why they didn't add the shading, just because all of this detail, man. Look at just all the sculpt work on this guy. If I was to go over everything, I'd be talking all day. Now, I think this armor is battle damage because you got some areas where it looks like the green has been torn off. Like clearly this right here is a chipped off piece of the armor right here along the stomach, which makes sense because he was stabbed. I don't know. Was he brought back? Like, is this a version of him that was brought back before he got killed? I don't really remember the movie. I've only seen it once, but yeah, it's weird. But yeah, a whole lot of battle damage on this guy, and you could see it all throughout the armor. Torn right here, torn right there, torn right there, torn along the legs. And there's so much sculpt work, even in the torn areas, man. It just... everything about the sculpt of this figure is so damn good, man. All along the back, you've got these pouches, straps, just extra plated pieces. There's so much happening here. All the way down to the feet. I didn't even realize that. But there's torn spots on the feet as well. Like... oh man, this is good. I know Marvel Legends is making their own version, but I don't think it's going to come close to keeping up with this. The head sculpt with the mask is the only thing that's probably going to make it worth buying over this. Now, granted, this is a very expensive figure, but so far, this is worth every single penny I paid. Like, to the cent for real. This is good, man. But anyway, let's go ahead and put him back so we can see how tall he stands. Now, to the top of his head, the Green Goblin stands right under 6 inches. He's pretty much right there. We'll just say he's 6 inches because he's almost right on the mark. So, basic scale SH Figuarts, and of course, we'll do some size comparisons later to see how he stacks up to a bunch of other figures, mostly Spider-Man stuff, as it should be. Articulation wise, he looks up about that much, which is to be expected. You're not going to get a whole lot out of that just because he has the hoodie on and his head is going to touch the back of it. Now, he looks down. Ooh, head popped off. Wasn't expecting that. Let's see. But it pops right back on. He only looks down about that much. You can get the chin to the chest. Again, very expected just because of all this extra design work and things you have going on here. Now, he can maneuver his head however you want. He can be very expressive as the Green Goblin is because, man, Willem Dafoe was crazy in this movie. Now, the arms go up and out more than I thought. The armored pieces actually kind of tuck in to the butterfly joint, so he can get T-poses no problem. That I was not expecting. That's really good. Now, of course, if you want them to go higher, you can raise the arms up. And then one thing I just realized is this piece right here will come off, as it should, though, because I think he extends these and uses them. But it just plugs right back on there, so there you go. But I'm going to take it off for the sake of not knocking it off again. But anyway, he does have a bicep swivel, double jointed elbows that are very freaking effective. That is really damn good. The hands are going to be on a ball peg. A few restrictions, but mostly just because of the armor, so that's to be expected. When it comes to the diaphragm, look at that. Look at that. That is, oh my gosh, that is so good. Yo, he doesn't really lean back much just because of all the sculpted details, but forward, oh man, you can get this guy to move, rock, and all of that, yo. Ah, man, this is killer. And he doesn't really turn at the waist. Most of their Spider-Man figures don't. I don't know what kind of joint they have in here. I don't want to take it apart. But it's usually if they would just do like a double ball peg to connect the lower torso to the waist, then these things would be able to articulate even better. Tamashii, interpret that in your figures, man, or incorporate. I said interpret. Incorporate that into your figures, yo, and it'll just make them so much better because it sucks that you can't really turn them at the waist. All of it is going to come out of the diaphragm, and you can't really get him to move all the way around in punching poses utilizing the diaphragm, so it limits the articulation heavily. Anyway, back to the legs. He kicks up about that much, and in certain instances, it kind of looks like his legs are too short. They're not. I do think they should be a little bit longer, though. Actually, they might be a tad bit too short. He still looks good. It's not very noticeable unless you're really just staring at the figure. But yeah, I wish the legs were a tad bit longer. Either way, he can kick out. He doesn't really kick back because of all the sculpted armor. Kicking out like this, be careful because it will pop off. But he can do it. So he kicks out about that much. So this is going to help when you get him in those glider poses. He does have a thigh swivel, a bit tight. Put this in some hot water before you start trying to articulate it. You don't want anything to break. Now at the knees, it's a double jointed knee, but it has single jointed range. You're not going to get it any further than that. Again, just all of this armor is what's going to hinder a lot of it. And that's expected. I can't really fault them for that. Now when it comes to the foot, it goes down only about that much, up only about that much. No real ankle rocker inward, but you get more going outwards. So that makes it a little bit better. And then he does have a toe hinge. So articulation wise, not bad. There are some restrictions, but for the most part, you're going to be able to do what you want with this guy. Just make sure you're careful. That's all that matters. Now, when it comes to accessories, you don't really get a whole lot with this guy, but you get a decent amount. First off, he comes out of the package with the head sculpt that you see, wearing the glasses and a pair of fist hands. He does come with one interchangeable head, which is just a Willem Dafoe without the glasses. Again, it does have that weird blue-white streak along the hair. I don't know why they did that. That's the weirdest thing about this figure. But everything else looks so good, man. The face paint, all of it looks so clean. Looks exactly like the actor. Like, I legit cannot express how well this captures Willem Dafoe. Anyway, he does come with an extra hoodie. This is for when he's actually wearing it. He comes with the extended claws. This is what you attach to the arm. As you see, I have displayed right here. You just take this one off and put this one on. Very easy. He comes with a pumpkin bomb. Let's see if I can show that off. Only one. Would have been cool to get 2 or 3 of these just in case you lose one, but oh well. And then he comes with 3 extra sets of interchangeable hands. You have these what is HIV? You have these kind of like reaching, grabbing, almost stylized type hands. Then he comes with a pair of hands for holding the pumpkin bomb, and you just kind of, here it is. Oh, see, almost dropped it right there. You just kind of attach it in there, and it stays. You don't have to worry about it going anywhere. So it does work, so I'm happy about that. And then last but not least, he comes with the Dragon Ball martial arts hands. I don't know what made them throw these in there. Maybe because Willem Dafoe was throwing hands in that movie, because I remember he beat the brakes off of Tom Holland Spider-Man. Like, homie should have been embarrassed. But yeah, Willem Dafoe was going ham in the movie. And that is not all. He also comes with his glider, and my, I cannot express how good this thing looks, yo. As if the figure didn't already have enough sculpting and detail in it, this glider is just so magnificent, man. You can see the spots where you're supposed to place the foot. I do wish that these had some peg holes in them and you could peg the foot in there so it'll stay, but you just kind of slide it in. But oh man, this looks so good. You've got silvers, blacks, blues, yellows, all of this, and then it is articulated as well. You can get it to come in like this, looking like one of the Star Wars battleships, and then you do see more detail right along here in the middle. Would have been cool if we got like some black dry brushing on this to kind of make it look old, make it look a little bit rusty, because I think this is an older Green Goblin. Well, obviously he's older than what we saw in Spider-Man 1 the movie, but also at the same time, he's probably been using this glider for quite some time, so there should be a little bit more shading in it, just kind of make it look a little bit more rusty. But here's the bottom right here, again, just looking so good. This is sick. This is really sick. And I have a spot right here for a Tamashii Nation stand, which he doesn't come with. That's a bit sad. I do think they should have threw one in, especially for the price point, because, man, this is a very expensive figure. But overall, it's sick, man. Very, very good. I am loving this glider. Now, moving right along to size comparisons, here he is standing next to the SH Figuarts Spider-Man No Way Home trio. We have him standing next to Tom Holland on the far left. We have Tobey Maguire in the middle and Andrew Garfield on the far right. And it's crazy just how much more detailed he is than these figures. Obviously, they're wearing suits, but this guy just looks so good standing next to them, man. He looks better than his own protagonist, and that says a lot. Next up, here he is standing next to a couple of Marvel Legends. We have two of the MCU villains from Spider-Man. We have the Build-A-Figure Vulture on the left. Then in the middle, we have Mysterio. And then on the far right, we have the Marvel Legends Spider-Man, the Animated Series 2-pack Green Goblin. We had to throw the real Green Goblin in the video also. Here he is standing next to the Marvel Legends Renew Your Vows Spider-Man, the Mafex or Metacom toy, the Batman, and then the Mafex or Metacom toy Spider-Man comic book outfit, just in case some people are willing to mix this guy up with some comic figures. And I almost forgot about these two, but I figured why not throw them in with two more SH Figuarts MCU villains. Here we have the Venom from SH Figuarts, which is based on Venom from his own original movies. And then, of course, Carnage, who's based on Venom Let There Be Carnage, which is the second installment to the Venom trilogy, I guess is what it's going to be. As you can see, they both tower over him as they're supposed to. Now, I'm sure it's very well known just how high of a pedestal that I put Tamashii Nations on. And when they release figures like this, it is a clear reminder of why I hold them to such high standards with their action figure releases, because this just goes to show Tamashii Nations can do great things. And I know we have some slack off sometimes. We have some very lackluster figures. We have some figures that just absolutely could have been done better. And I think it's just based on different branches, because certain lines, it's like they really go all in. The Spider-Man figures, in my opinion, were great. There were some issues with some of them, but for the most part, they're all enjoyable. This figure here is on a different level of enjoyable, despite all of the issues that I pointed out. And I say all, it's not many. Most of them coming just from the lackluster articulation, and then the fact that he doesn't come with a couple accessories that he should have. Like, I think he should have a few more pumpkin bombs, and I do think he should have came with the mask. Even though he only wore it for like a minute in the movie, it's something they should have thrown in, man. It's iconic, and this would have been the perfect time for them to give it to us, because, come on, let's be real, we're not going to get that mask by any 6-inch figure company with as much detail as Tamashii Nations could have put into it. Don't get me wrong, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with the Marvel Legends, but as an import collector, you can't sell me that thing after I've experienced this. I had it on pre-order, and midway through this review, I went and I canceled it. I don't need it. I'll just find a third-party head sculpt with the mask for this guy, and then I'm good, because this is the perfect figure. Like, this is just it, yo. This is so damn good. Yes, I don't like what I spent on it, but it is what it is. Now that I've got the figure in hand, I don't even care, man. And you get what you pay for. Like, the Marvel Legends doesn't even come with a pair of fist hands, and he was throwing hands in this movie. So I don't know how they could have skipped out on something like that. That's my biggest issue with a lot of Hasbro releases, is that they don't throw in interchangeable hands. Like, these guys are fighters, man. They're superheroes and supervillains. Come on. But I'm not about to turn this into a Hasbro rant. Overall, man, this figure's just, it's better. I'm sorry. I know the Hasbro version's not out, but it's not going to compete with this. I wish they would have thrown in a stand. That would have made it a little bit better also. But as is, man, this thing is just good, yo. This is a really damn good figure, and I cannot stress that enough. Despite the limitations in articulation, I still have just been able to have so much fun with this figure. He photographs so well, and he's just going to look good on your Spider-Man display. This is I said it a million times, guys. It's beautiful. Go get your hands on this figure if you haven't already, because this is it. This is it. I cannot stress that enough. But anyway, I'm beating a dead horse. I hope that you guys enjoyed this review. If so, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. That always helps me out. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Make sure to hit that bell icon to be notified whenever I upload new content. And last but not least, follow me on everything you see listed in the description below to keep up with my activity outside of YouTube. Hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Stay safe wherever you are, and bye.